¿Qué tal? Buenos días. Vamos a iniciar con la sesión. Una disculpa de antemano por la tardanza. Tuvimos unos problemas ahí técnicos antes de poder llegar. Antes que nada, quería preguntarles si alguien tiene problemas en que la sesión sea en inglés. Uno de mis compañeros no habla español, entonces vamos a tener la sesión en inglés. Por favor, si alguien tiene algún problema con eso, lo podemos ver y puede ir relacionados cuando hablar, ¿no? Okay. Okay. We're about to start. Our talk is about web application security. My name is Juan Carlos Mejia. I'm the head of IT security in Linux. And Mohammed is also here. Is the senior security analyst at Linux. Okay. Okay. Perfect. We are about to begin. First of all, a disclaimer. We are about to see and demonstrate some of the techniques and demos for attacking web applications. So this presentation is for education purposes only, and Linux is not responsible for any action that you may take if you are performing this kind of techniques for web applications. And the last warning is hacking is considered by the law as a crime. So please don't do it, or do it in a controlled environment. Okay? Okay, first about me. As I was saying, I'm Juan Carlos Mejia. I'm the head of information security at NIMI. And I am working in the information security for more than 15 years. In the past, I was the subdirector of security testing at HSBC. And before that, I was a senior security consultant at Deloitte. And in the previous one, I was a security analyst as a freelancer. Okay? Something about me, I am mad about movies. I go to the movies frequently. And I was a basketball player. Michael Jordan is the best. Okay? Okay. Before we start, there are some sentences here that I don't know if you agree with that sentences. The first one. All issues are important, even if these issues have a low security impact. It must be fixed and it must not be ignored. Why? For example, some companies say if you find a security hole that is ranked as a low risk, they don't fix it, and they say no, it's a low risk, and we don't need to fix it. But it's not a good option for us, for the companies to do that. Why? Because some of the vulnerabilities on their own, maybe they are low, they have a low impact or maybe a low probability. But when we join several vulnerabilities that are low, that are categorized as low impact, they can altogether they can provoke to have a high risk. So even though we have low risk, we need to fix it. The other thing, the fact that the application is secure because it's behind a firewall or a VPN is a myth. It's also a false statement. Why? Because I don't know if you know, but almost the 80% of the vulnerabilities or the data leakage or any kind of attacks are from the internal people. So, of course, we are dealing with external people that are trying to access our network or our applications, but the main attackers are the internal people, the employees, the providers, some sellers. So, having our applications behind the firewall or VPN is not fully secure. Okay. Another, this kind of vulnerabilities could be exploited separately or used with the help of another ones to create a high impact. As I was saying, maybe every vulnerability on their own has a low impact or a low probability, but when we join these vulnerabilities, we can create a high impact. So it's a good recommendation to fix all of the vulnerabilities, even if they are high or they are low or medium high risk. Nothing is totally secure, but there is the most secure and hardening. Okay? There is a basic rule in security that says that it's not a matter of if we are going to be vulnerable or not. The thing is that we are going to be. It's just a matter of time. So we need to be prepared. We cannot mitigate the potential of a high risk of a data leakage or a data being stolen. But what we can do is to minimize this probability and to be prepared in case of bad incidents. And the last one, if your code is insecure enough, the business will be impacted, including your salary, of course. Many companies suffer from data leakage vulnerabilities. For example, here in Mexico, we have the example from Liverpool. They were hacked, and all the information from the customers were leaked to the internet. And it also not only impacts in the image or the reputation of the company, but also there are sensitive information protection laws that there are penalties, severe penalties for having this kind of disclosures. So the best thing that we can do is to secure code our applications, and so we, our company or ourselves, we can be secure and do not be impact on our salaries. Okay. Okay. There are many categories of vulnerabilities in web applications. We have injections. The most popular is the SQL injection attacks, but we have also operating system commands injections. Another thing, broken authentication and session management. This is regarding the process that we follow in order to authenticate our users and the authorization that they have in their applications. The third one, file path traversal, or that's remote or local. We are going to see the differences. And it's also called directory traversal. You can find these two concepts, they are the same, but you can find it in both in the internet. The fourth is cross-site request forgery. This kind of vulnerabilities allows to perform other activities in our web applications without the user being notified. In this kind of vulnerabilities, we can trick the user into doing something that they don't want to do. We're going to see some examples. The next is brute force attacks. It's simple as that. We can brute force our, for example, our login forms so that we can have access to, authorized access to our applications. Another one, sensitive data exposure, or it's also called information disclosure. This is when we treat our applications to give us some information about the network, about the software, about versions of the tools or the software that we are using. And this kind of information is it's helpful for the attackers to have a specific, to be more successful. Another one that is one of the most famous attacks is the cross-site scripting. That's also known as XSS. We have several kinds of these vulnerabilities. One is reflected, one is stored, DOM, raised, or set. We're going to see the differences between all of them. Another one is validated redirects and forwards, backup and redirections. Another thing is quick checking. It's also called QE regressing. And the last one is using components with non-vulnerabilities. For example, we use libraries, plugins, themes. For example, WordPress. We have plugins for WordPress for all kind of CMS. So these kind of plugins are vulnerable to some kind of issues, some of the issues that we saw. So when we use this kind of plugins, we are also vulnerable to these vulnerabilities. Okay, and the last one, we're going to see some examples, mixing all of the vulnerabilities, as I was saying. We're going to see some examples of how we can use some of them together to have a high risk, a high impact in our application. Okay. Please, if you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah. Okay, this list was based on a WASP. A WASP is you can look for this in the internet. This is So you can see all the categories of web application vulnerabilities, but the examples we are going to show is based on our experience and knowledge. Okay. At the end of the slides, there are some references, so you can see all the links of the URLs and to learn more about this. Okay. We want to start with the first one, injections. As I was saying, there are two kinds of injections. Injection flows are when you can input your application, untrusted input that is sent to the application. The application, if the application doesn't have the proper controls, they receive the input and they execute the input that we put in the applications. So this kind of attacks allow us to have access to sensitive information, for example, databases information, or accessing, or maybe modifying or deleting tables. Okay. There are two basic kinds of injections. The one is SQL injection, and the other one is operating system code or command injections. We are going to see both. First one, SQL injection. As I was saying, this is the most common, the most popular attacks in web applications. This is an example. Let's imagine that we have a vulnerable web application with the following SQL query string. We have here the the basic SQL query. We are selecting all the fields from the accounts table where the custom ID that is getting from the customer is something. This is the basic SQL query that we make when we are creating our web applications to us the database. And we are getting this ID as an input to execute the query. Okay? What is the attack? In this case, the attacker modifies the ID parameter into the browser by sending this value. Okay? So, for example, we have this application, account view, and this URL received this ID as an input. If I put this string as an input, this is what the query looks like in the database. Select all from the table accounts where post ID is equal to nothing or 1 equals 1. So somebody can tell me what's going on, what's going to happen here. What we are doing here is that we are modifying the query, we are closing this statement, and we are adding another conditional statement. So this conditional is always true. 1 is always 1. So this SQL query is going to execute as this is an OR. So this even this is true or even this is true. As this is always true, the database is going to execute all of this. So as a result, we are going to the application is going to return all the records from the accounts table. Okay, this is the most basic simple example of this. Yes, the most dangerous attacks could modify data or even invoke stored procedures. Okay, this is only an example. We are only retrieving all the data in the accounts table, because we can also use these kind of attacks to delete the tables or maybe alter the information. In the worst cases, data could be altered, deleted, modified, or even dumped. We are going to see some examples. Okay, this is one of the examples. We're using, in this case, this is a tool called SQL Map. SQL Map is a tool that allows to automate, to program this kind of tasks. So in this case, we're showing an example. We are running this tool some application, and we can see here that we are receiving all the information about the tables that the database contains. Okay. Oh, another thing, as you can see this part, this is a common error. For example, when you are developing applications, maybe the MySQL or SQL Server are sending this kind of errors. This kind of error we are going to see, and this kind of errors are very valuable to the attackers, because here you are. One of the things that we are saying here, what we see here, is that, for example, this is a MySQL server. So the attacker can be more specific, because they are not going to launch attacks for a SQL server, because they know that this is MySQL. So they are going to be more specific about the attacks. And it also tells the attacker that the number of the tables, or remove the fields to the table. So we're going to see how we use this information to be more specific about the task. Okay, so how can we mitigate this kind of attacks? General differences. The first rule is think like attackers. This is a basic rule. For example, as a programmer, as a designer, we are also thinking, well, the application needs to do these kind of things. And if I put this input, they want to return this kind of results. But the attacker thinks in another way. They say, well, this is what the application is supposed to do. But what happens if I add, instead of, if they expect to receive numerical data, what happens if I put some layer or some special paragraph? So this kind of thinking is the way that attackers are doing to attack our applications. So the first thing is we need to think like attackers, not as developers, not as programmers. Another thing, avoid spaghetti queries. There are some problems here, and queries that are not prepared statement or are not stored procedures. We're going to see that. We need to avoid this. Another rule, don't trust user or non-user supply inputs. We need to prepare our applications so that all the input that they receive from the user, the final user, we need to pass this input through a serial of process of procedures in order to sanitize this information. We cannot trust that the user is going to send good inputs. We need to think like that. We need to be prepared if the user is trying to get is trying to use our application to do some other things more than the intended. Another one, don't store password in plain text in database. This is our common solution, because if we are vulnerable to this kind of attacks, the attacker can access to the table where we store the user accounts or maybe the password. So if the password is stored in plain text, we are giving the attackers all the information, and they can access with all the accounts that we have in our application. So we need to solve or hash all the passwords. The hash is a function that allows to have a digits of the password, so that they can this code cannot be reversed. We cannot infer the password having this code. So in case we are vulnerable to the secret injection attack, and the attacker is able to get all the information from the table, from the user's table, they cannot be able to extract or to know the password. So we can hash them or even salt them. The salt is used, for example, if we have two users have the same password, it's if we hash the password, it's going to be the same hash. So with the salt, even if the password is the same for 2 people or more people, the password the hash is going to be totally different. Okay, it's another thing that another rule. Don't assign DPA or admin type access rights to your application accounts. So every application needs a user account in the database so that they can access the information that is stored in the database. So the idea here is that this user that the application is using needs to be hardened. This user needs to have only the privileges that they need to operate, nothing more. But it's almost a general that when we are creating applications, we give the user admin privileges. So another thing, if we are vulnerable to this secret injection, if the user is admin, we are giving access to the attackers to the whole database. So the idea is if we are vulnerable to this attack, if we have a restricted access for this user, the surface of the attack is going to be minimized because the attacker will not be able to extract all the information. If we have this admin access, we are giving access to every information that is stored in the database. Another thing is don't run the DMS as root or system. It's the same. We have to only give access to the user accounts of the applications to the minimum requirements or privileges that they need to do the job, nothing more. Parameter definitions, use of prepared statements, as parameterized queries, in the next slides. The use of store procedures, and stepping all the user supply input, whitelisting and input validation. We're going to see the examples. And additional defenses, as I was saying, enforce these privileges. The exact privileges for each responsible account, nothing more. Okay? This is the first example. Prepare statements. It's the basic rule is to use parameters to run queries. For example, here we have we create a PHP page. We create a connection to the database. We check the connection, and this is the prepare statement. We're going to run this query in the database, but we're giving the inputs as parameters. So in that case, this kind of secret injection attack is not going to work. As we were saying, when the attacker inputs the query that allows to modify the query, this is because the input is the application is considering all the input as a part of the query. Using prepare statements, all of the input is going to be considered only as a parameter, not as a part of the query. So the attack is not going to work. The one see this in the next slides. This is the other one, store procedures. Okay. In example, we have also the connection. We create a table here, and we insert into this table these values. Okay, we run the store procedure, and we call the store procedure. So in that case, also the query is not running as a simple query. We are using this store procedure that is going to receive the input as parameters, and it's almost for sure that the attack is not going to work. And the last one is expecting all users to apply input and perform whitelist input validation. So I was saying, we cannot trust the input from the final users. You need to think about what happens if they input untrusted data. So we need to put in place some security controls, in this case, escaping the input. The escaping depends on the encoding type of your DNS, and the proper escaping technique will help you to prevent such attacks. The idea is to get this input from the user and pass it to a series of procedures to sanitize. For example, if we are dealing with a parameter that is numerical, if we receive another thing that is not numerical, we can delete that information or sanitize. Another is whitelisting the user inputs in a good way to limit the signal injection attacks and not the best one. This whitelisting is, for example, if we know that the input is, for example, the names of people, we can infer that we cannot allow if they use, for example, a semicolon. So we can use a list of words that are allowed to be as input, and if there is a word that is input in the parameter and is not listed in that whitelist, it's going to be denied. This is the basic function of this whitelist. Another thing is the use of magic MySQL real escape string. This is a function that allows to filter the holes and other inappropriate charts. We have some frameworks that really have the functions to do this sanitation of the data. So we are not beginning from zero. We have already some tools that we are going to help us to have this security in place. Make use of regular expression and know exactly what you want from the user input and to be passed to the database query. So I was saying, if we know that we are receiving some kind of parameters, we can prepare our application to not accept other kind of inputs. But this is what I was saying. There was the URL, and you can find this all of this kind of vulnerabilities. And the second one, injections for the operating system injections. And it's also called as remote code execution. The function is the same as in the previous one, but in this case we are injecting operating system commands. So in this case we are not running SQL command, but operating system commands. Okay. And the things that common injection attacks are possible due to insufficient input validation. It's the same thing as in secret injections. We are not preparing our applications to not set some kind of code. So in this case, we are going to run operating system commands. What is the differences between SQL injection and code execution? Command execution and code execution. Command execution, the attacker passes internal system commands to be executed. And in code injection, as we were saying, the attacker injects some code, the application, and the application executes. The differences is the attacker in command injection. The attacker needs to be familiar with the running system, internal commands, or permissions to perform the attack. As I was saying, when we allow our applications to show the errors from our databases or our servers, we are allowing the attackers to be able to see, for example, the operating system of the server. We are allowing to see the version of the database server. And this kind of information is going to be very helpful for the attackers. So in this case, the attackers, once they see that the operating system is, for example, Windows, they can try to execute Windows commands. And in code execution, the attacker is extending the functionality of the vulnerable application with the need to execute the system level commands. So we're saying, in SQL injection, we are not dealing with operating system commands, but with SQL injection, with SQL queries. And of course, this command injection is more dangerous on the system level because we are going to attack the server, not the application. And in this case, in code injections, it's more dangerous on the application level because we are dealing with the database. This is an example. Let's imagine that we have this piece of code. We are printing this specify the name of the file to be deleted. We print it and we get the name of the file to be deleted. And we run the command system to delete the file. Let's imagine that we have this application. This application receives this is the parameter file name, and this parameter receives the name of the file that we want to delete. But as we are saying, we have this semicolon and ID. So what do you think would be the response from the application if we don't have the controls in place? Anyone? So anyone knows what's going to happen with these three characters? So we are seeing that we are running system commands, and we are passing this parameter, and it's going to be executed as an operating system command. So if we inject this, the file plus the semicolon and the ID, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen because the semicolon is used to split the commands. So we are going to use this as a parameter, and then it's going to execute this as a second command. That's why we use the semicolon, and the ID is going to show us the information about the user. This is the response. The application level is okay, but this is what we receive. This is what the command executes. This is the explanation. The ID command was executed in the context of the vulnerable application. Why? Because we are executing this parameter, we are passing this parameter, we are in the semicolon that is considered as a command trigger. So the application is is executing both as a separate commands. So the ID is the one that is executing after we pass the input. And this another example is similar to the first one. We have this code. We have the variable, we have the user input, and we evaluate this input. Again, we have this application. This application receives this parameter as an input in this parameter, and we are adding this command. So the response will be similar to the first one. Okay, again, we are injecting the operating system command, and the application is executing. The explanation is the same. We are injecting this command, and it was executed by the application. It's because there is no proper input validation, and the attacker can inject a piece of code into the application and it will do the rest. So we are not dealing with information in the database. We are dealing right now with information with operating system commands in the server. Okay. This is the second category of vulnerabilities. This is the broken application and session management. Authentication is